So not unlike the permaculture orchard design that we tried, this spot behind me next to the chicken coop was going to be another section of like food forest design. I've got goji berries in there and just some pretty stuff like ferns, some perennial flowers, hostas. But it becomes this weed pile basically every year. It's too invasive for me to manage with the size of garden that I have that takes so much management every single year. Maybe when I retire, I can do cool stuff like this. But for now, we have an idea that it's basically a hill. I don't know if you guys can tell that. We're going to level this spot and it's just going to become part of the mowing. And from a food forest design perspective, all of this back here, basically what we're going to do is we're going to add edible trees. There's all kinds of edible berries already in there, gooseberries, currants, raspberries, blackberries. So I have the goji berry in here that I need to move. I'm going to put it somewhere that makes sense in the food forest that still is a mowable. Probably what I'll do is I'm going to move it by the chicken coop because they love the goji berries when they fall. And the perennial flowers and hostas and things like that, I'm just going to move to some of my garden beds that are around the barns that we have on the property. So not everything works out. That's okay. We're just trying to make it easier to manage here. And what's important is my garden over fun stuff like this. It was a fun idea. I just don't have time to manage this. Okay, I have everything weeded away so I can at least get it out. I have a daylily here, three of those pretty yellow flower plants, and 2 hostas. So get to digging, but I want to show you guys something. Let's see if I can get one. Okay, these. Do you guys see this? They're all over in here this year. And Todd doesn't think they're good ladybugs. He said he thinks that they're a bad aphid. So I've been crushing them. I mean, there's hundreds and thousands. And stomping on them. But I've never seen anything like it before. I don't think that they're the good ladybug. So I need to think about where to put them. I guess I'll shake everything off really good before I transplant it over here where the infestation is. Okay, we're gonna keep this section underneath this tree, so I'm just gonna move my daylily over here and maybe my other hosta. Watch out. Gotta show them.
Hold on, what is this thing? Some kind of weird mushroom. It looks like an ear.
Well, we have devil's fingers. Maybe they're devil ears. Oh, it does look like an ear. That's gross.
Yeah.
Or upside down snail. I'm excited to see my azaleas have the beginnings of buds on them. Growing up in Louisiana and Texas, if you guys live down in that area, azaleas are rampant. So getting them to be hardy enough up here in Michigan's been a struggle of mine. And I'm happy with how they came out. I think protecting them from the westward wind really helped. So, good job, guys.
Yeah, they look good. So we had a funny little thing happen last year right around this time, in that in our backyard we have a cottonwood tree almost as big as this catalpa tree. And it was one day I was upstairs on the second floor of our house looking out the window, and I saw a duck had landed up in one of the branches of the tree. And I'm thinking, well, why would a duck land up there in that tree? And there's a bunch of holes and stuff in the tree. So we looked into it a little bit, and they were probably wood ducks, because wood ducks nest in trees. Something I did not know prior. This year, wherever them ducks came from, they must like our property. They didn't nest in that tree that we know of. But this year, they've nested right in our front yard in our catalpa tree, right up there. I'll try to get a camera out. I got my GoPro and a really long stick, and I'm going to try to stick it up there so that we can kind of see his head sometimes sticking up. And there's a whole bunch of feathers up there. But I'm going to stick it up there and see if we can see Mama Duck and see what she's up to and if there's any babies up there yet. See if this works. Well, did you see her? Pretty cool. Did you hear it? You could hear her hissing. Fun. Well, I have to keep an eye on her. I have no idea what the incubation period is for American wood ducks, but I'm gonna have to go learn more about them now. So I've kind of stopped doing dedicated beekeeping videos on our channel, mostly because the performance of those videos is kind of lacking. There's not a lot of views on them. We don't seem to get a lot of interest or comments on some of the more recent ones we publish, so I haven't been doing a lot, but we still are beekeeping. So I'll give you guys a quick update today just because I've had some people ask me, hey, what's going on with the bees? I know some of you are still interested, so I appreciate you. But the bees are doing good. Back behind me, the one you can't see, that's the weak hive. It was a single deep, made it through winter. They're doing good. We just cleaned them guys out. Their bottom board was nasty. Some dead bees and actually had mold in it. So I'm not sure what happened there, but we put a whole new bottom board in there. Those bees are doing good. Their population is still low. This hive here, this is the one that I lost over the winter. They were gone. They were all the bees were dead in the bottom. That hive over there made it through winter perfectly fine. In fact, they went into spring so strong that I was really concerned about them swarming early, especially now. If you can see back behind here, the dandelions are just out everywhere, and we don't fertilize one bit on our property as far as keeping our lawn green. So I'm sure my neighbors probably hate me, but we have literally several 100,000 dandelions on our 7 acres of property. And the bees are loving it. So about a week ago, I split this hive, the one that survived the winter. I didn't want them to swarm. I split them and moved half of them over into this frame. And I did that by using a method called the easy split method, where you have a double deep that survived through winter. And to do the split, you basically take, so picture this box, these boxes are empty. From there, you take from the top 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, move them to the top of here. From the bottom, you take 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. From the bottom, you move them to the bottom here. You take all these frames and squish them together. Same on that side, squish them together. And then you put empty or drawn comb frames on the sides to fill in that gap. You don't care where your queen ends up, you don't really need to find her. One of these 2 hives is going to be queenless right now. Whichever one is not, or whichever one is queenless, they will kick it into gear and they will make some new queen cells and they will raise their own queen. I have plenty of drones, so I know mating shouldn't be a problem. And that's kind of where things are.
Okay, I am doing something you absolutely should have absolutely no business doing May 1st, 2nd, first week of May. I should have done this early April, really, even late March. And that is I'm transplanting, I don't know if you guys can see, all this rhubarb down my fence row in my garden. And some of that is left over from our orchard clean out. And then same in the space that we started last year. If you guys have been following us for any time, we had, as I mentioned, grand plans of building a big food forest in the woods over there. And it's just honestly too much to manage. I want all my food growing in this garden space. So you really should transplant rhubarb, preferably in the fall. If you have to do it in the spring, early spring. Definitely not midday sun spring day. But anyway, I'm getting to it. I'm just going to give them a really good watering. And if nothing else, a couple crowns are going to make it. Maybe the whole plant doesn't make it, but some of it will. So one of them I probably need to divide. It is a 3-year-old rhubarb plant. These two small ones I actually started from seed 2 years ago. So they're only 2 years old. Look at those roots. Crazy. So I need to go a lot deeper. Okay, 2 down, and we'll see what we can do about breaking up that big one. That is a big rhubarb. Right, I got 5 split, so I'm gonna get those planted and then I'll just bring you back and show you. And then you're just gonna have to follow along with us for the summer and see if they actually make it and perk back up. They're definitely gonna suffer a little bit, me doing it this time of year, but in the long run, it's gonna be better. My rhubarb is gonna be right here with my strawberries for me to harvest and take in and make some yummy rhubarb strawberry crisp or strawberry and rhubarb jam, so I think it's gonna be worth it. Okay, well guys, I ended up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rhubarb transplants done. I'm gonna go ahead and finish watering them up, and I think I'm only really nervous about one because the crown kind of broke on it. But the root ball is still there, so maybe it'll come back next year, even if it doesn't do well this year. And yeah, this will be gorgeous in a few years when I have great big huge rhubarb plants. That was backbreaking. I swear that rhubarb that I pulled out of the orchard was at least 50 pounds. And I carried it from the orchard all the way over here. I'm like talking the whole time, good Lord. And I was like, something I do when I'm carrying something heavy, every single time I carry the goat's water out, I count my steps. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. It was a good butt workout though.
Yeah. It's
only 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. We got a lot done.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to tell you guys a couple times in this video and the last couple of videos we did. If you've sent anything to us to our P.O. box, we haven't checked that in probably 2 months, ever since we've been on quarantine.
Yeah.
So
well, we're not really quarantined anymore. Just stay at home.
Yeah, we're stay at home, but we're not ignoring you. We'll catch up to the post office eventually and go get our stuff. So.
Hopefully you guys are having this amazing weather, because I feel really bad if I'm out here like enjoying all this and you guys are maybe in cold still or rain. Hopefully if it's not there yet, it's coming soon, I promise.